Welcome back to another adventure with Corey, your host, your guide to all things cruising. I am in the drizzly town of Boston, Massachusetts today. You can see one of the skyscrapers there behind me, kind of. But I am going on another adventure to, well, bonjour. That's your hint. You know what I'm talking about, leave a comment in the comment section right there down below. But we're gonna make stops in a couple different countries today. One being, of course, the United States of America, and the other, well, of course, Canada, eh? So this adventure is probably, it is my longest adventure, I think so far. 11 nights going from Boston to Rockland to Halifax to Sydney to Prince Edward Island and Portland, Maine, as well as an overnight stay in Quebec City. So this will be exciting, a new adventure for me, a new ship for me, the Celebrity Silhouette. I, of course, have been on this class of ship before, the Solstice class. Speaking of the Solstice, she's going to get a nice refurbishment in the near future, and lots of new things to come on that particular ship. But anyway, back to this adventure. I am staying here at the Pennyweight Hotel, which is a curio collection right here in the heart of Boston. It is a gorgeous, cute, kind of like a boutique hotel. I didn't get any footage for you, I'm sorry, but nonetheless, it was a very nice stay here. Very friendly people, right in the heart of downtown, and only about a 15-minute walk over to the north end, aka Little Italy, which is where I went last night for dinner, to La Famiglia Giorgio, or La Famiglia Giorgio. This was a really good restaurant. I had to wait about an hour for the table. They told me 20 minutes, but it ended up being about an hour. But it wasn't so bad nonetheless. Had chicken piccata, which you can see here, was just good. It wasn't great, just good. It was just lacking a little bit in the lemon department. But it was good overall. It had fresh homemade noodles, or house-made noodles, angel hair pasta, and chicken. The portions there, however, are massive. I saw somebody else get a Caesar salad, and it was like a mountain. So just be advised, you're easily able to share whatever entree you end up getting there. I also had the pasta fagioli soup, which was fantastic. Everything came out really hot, so they make everything really fresh and really good. Also, they have some really good bread with like this spicy oil. I don't know, it was really good. They put some cheese in it. I am going to, well, actually, hold on, before I continue. After La Famiglia Giorgio, or whatever it was called, I walked my way over just about a block away to the fantastic, legendary Mike's Pastry. And here, this is a cash-only establishment, so just be advised before you go to bring your cash. There's typically going to be a wait when you go here because this place is really popular. This is probably the most notorious bakery in Boston, and the best place to get a cannoli. I had a chocolate-dipped cannoli with chocolate chips on the outside, and also a Boston cream donut, which, if you're in Boston, why not get a Boston cream donut, right? And I also had an eclair. So I had one thing for dessert last night, and then I had about half of each, because these things are massive, this morning for breakfast. So if you're going to the North End, going to Little Italy, please make sure that you stop at Mike's Pastry and get yourself some dessert or breakfast or whatever you want. It's really good and well worth the wait. So come with me. Let's go over to the cruise port, which is that way. So next stop, Boston Cruise Terminal. Stick around. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am in the gorgeous town of Village, maybe. It's pretty small. Rockland, Maine. And this is the one port that we have to tender to get from the ship to the shore. And that was a little bit of an interesting process, considering the waves were fairly rough. They had to stop people getting on every few seconds just until the waves settled down a little bit. But anyway, let me tell you about embarkation day. So getting to the port of Boston, a little bit of traffic, but once we got there was Terminal 2, and when I got there it was right around my designated time of about 11:30, and there was no wait whatsoever to get through security, through the check-in process, and on board the ship. This is again the Celebrity Silhouette. Very nice ship. I think it was just refurbished a couple years ago, so it still looks like it's in really good condition. So really after embarkation, it was just a pretty relaxing day. Just kind of walked around, explored the ship, went and had some lunch in the Ocean View Cafe, and then just kind of hung out until it was time to depart. And this was an interesting departure from this particular port. As the ship doesn't have anywhere to turn around once it docks, so you have to back all the way out to be able to turn the ship around and head out to sea. So that was kind of interesting. Kind of watched the waves kind of rub up against the back of the ship as it was moving out backwards. But it was also very cool because you do like this turn to kind of head right out to sea, right where the airplanes are landing and taking off here at the Boston Logan Airport. So that was really cool to watch the planes fly right over your head as they take off and whatnot. It's pretty cool experience on the departure from Boston. But nonetheless, went and watched the show last night. It was an Italian-American pianist who had the orchestra backing him up and played some really good music. Very entertaining, very talented, just a great performance. And then went and tried my luck in the casino. Some up, some down, and whatever. But it's a casino, so that's to be expected. And then head to bed. And this morning, like I said, we are in Rockland, Maine. Just kind of walking around. It's a very small port. I think the one thing to maybe do here is to have lunch and maybe some lobster or some seafood. So I think that's what I'm going to do in just a little bit. And you guys can come on along with me and not taste, but see what I decide to have for lunch. So stick around. So what a gorgeous day here in Rockland, as you can see right behind me. Beautiful sunny day, probably about 70 or so degrees today here in port. Just ended up walking around all around the town. Did about 3 miles. It's a very small town though, just kind of walked up and down the streets and had lunch at Hill's Seafood Company, which was very good, right next to the port. Ended up having a bowl of clam chowder, which was full of clams, potatoes, really good flavor, and some fried clam strips. They give you a pretty big portion though, but it's about $19 for the clam strips and $7 for the clam chowder. But it was definitely well worth it. Very good food here. After that, just ended up walking right back to the port, just down the hill there. Well, I guess to the tender area where you get the boat back to the port. And this was a little bit of a unique situation. It took about 1 hour, a very long line to get back onto the tender boats and then back to the ship. It's about a 15-minute ride on the tender boats. And it looks like they had probably 4 or so boats going back and forth. But I think the issue was everyone kind of wanted to get back on board the ship at the same time. There's only so much you can do if that's the case. But yeah, it ended up taking about an hour. Left around, I want to say 1:45 from the restaurant, and was back on board the ship around 3 o'clock. And the last tender, I believe, was at 3:45. So when we left the marina, the line was still just as long as it was when I was getting in it in the first place. So I think everyone was just trying to get back on board around the same time. It's a pretty short day here in Rockland. Nonetheless, don't really have anything planned for this evening. There's a magician. I may or may not go and see him. Magicians can kind of be hit or miss on cruise ships, but it's fine. Dinner in the main dining room, and then tomorrow is going to be Halifax. So just make sure you guys hit that like button right there down below. Hit that notification bell and comment if you guys have been to Halifax, have been to Rockland, have been on a cruise up into the northeast. But couldn't ask for better weather, as you can see right here. Excited to go back to Halifax tomorrow and bring you guys along for the ride. So we'll talk back in a bit.